Hello. Today I'm going to be going over types of ways in which you as a teacher will and can work with the child. Basically, like saying how to develop perfect or good handwriting penmanship, um, ways to enhance reading skills, ways to just get the child to do, like different tasks that can help to develop the muscles in order for the child to be, become accurate and fast at learning, just say the skill of penmanship, the skill of reading, adding, addition, subtraction, things such as that. So the first thing I want to start out with is like music. Music is a top key thing for teaching a child pretty much anything because they feel like they're just singing and they could be up singing, they could be dancing, they could be moving. It's just different types such as that. But then like when you do like finger plays, it teaches the kids to count forward, backwards, and then how to add and subtract because as just say for instance, 5 little monkeys swinging in a tree, along came Mr. Alligator and snapped that monkey right out of the tree. You're down to 4 now. So you went from 5 to 4. So that's teaching the child to subtract. And they're not even aware of the fact that they're learning how to count backwards. Okay, reciting the alphabets, as you know, singing the alphabets teaches them to learn the order of the alphabet. So it's like kids are not aware of the skills that they pick up just through singing. Singing also teaches them rhyming. Nursery rhymes teaches them rhyming. Reading helps to develop language skills. It also helps them to learn punctuation, understanding capitalization and lowercase lettering. It's just so much. It even teaches them conversations such as like if you just say, when you read a storybook and the story may be about pretty much like just say good morning when they walk into a classroom based on the story plot, and then it's like saying, well, how are you today, Johnny? And then Johnny just looks, and then the teacher goes, well, I see that you're, this and the other. And so it teaches the child emotions. It teaches them how to greet, how to receive a greeting, and how to give forth. And it's just like, just say for instance, even like some songs, there's a song I always love to sing to the kids, and it goes like, hello, 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 and how are you? I'm fine, and I hope that you are too. And you can do that as many times as you want and go over it, and then that's the lesson for today, learning how to greet. Song, it teaches the child to say hello. It teaches them to ask, how are you doing? It teaches them to also say how, basically you're teaching them, role modeling for them in the song how to greet someone, And then you could also, just like I said, to enhance writing and penmanship, it would be just going through, having a child shred papers up. I mean, it doesn't matter what type of paper it is. If it's nothing important, have the children shred it. Don't use a shredder. Use the hands, the manual shredders. And then you could go through and say, okay, we're gonna cut today. So cutting with small, child-sized scissors also helps to develop most fine motor skills to help the child to actually, the muscles to develop to where they're able to hold the pen or the pencil correctly and to maneuver the pencil. Okay, another way of enhancing hand penmanship is having the children work and knead through Play-Doh, or just helping make cookies, different things such as that, cooking activities where they're actually, using the fingers and using the muscles and working it to where they actually are developing strength in those little fingers or those little phalanges. But anyways, that's another good way. As far as, let's say, what's another good one? Okay, so that's penmanship and the, such as that. Okay, and then with reading. Reading, again, we go back to reading. Reading helps develop language skills, punctuation, grammar. It helps with all of that. And then it also helps the child to start to see words and identify words. It also helps with, just say if you give a child, if you start with like the big, large, like let's say 25-piece puzzle, floor puzzles, helping a child to be able to learn the color the color families of a color. Just say, when you're doing a puzzle, just say this outfit here. You have Bird and Ernie and everybody here, but then as you see, the coloring around each one of their head is a blue, but it's a different color, textured blue. So this teaches a child to be able to identify and match the colors to what family it goes into. At the same time, it teaches the speed of the eyes to learn to just start to look ahead when they're reading. Like, just say, if the storybook says Jan ran over to Jack. Well, because Jan ran over to Jack is lined up on the page, the child learns to look ahead versus just taking their time and going, Jan ran over to Jack. The eyes are already ahead of the child while they're reading, and that enhances reading skills as well. Or you can even go through as far as to say, okay, let's sing. And then you teach the child to rote sing, just singing a song out of a book, or reading a book that they're familiar with, reading on a regular basis, starting out with one letter words like I. I spells A. Ask the child to say, how do you spell I? You'd be amazed. I worked in a junior high school, and junior high kids, when we asked them to spell the word I, they had no clue. When we asked them to spell the word, just say FB, they had no clue. So you have to learn the child to learn the individual letters, the individual letter sounds, and then you teach them also just basically, okay, I is I, A is A. When they see that letter in a storybook or in a book, or if they're writing in a sentence. Okay, the other thing you want to do is you start with like 2-letter words, like words such as to, be, and, at. And then from there, you can add like a beginning sound to those once the child grasps, you know, like just say, for instance, the at. Then you can say bat, cat, fat, hat, and just go from there. And that's with each word. And then that teaches a child to get familiar with the ending sound, the beginning sound. And then the way I like to do it is I'll say, with my grandson, I like to say, okay, what's the letter sound? Okay, just like, for instance, he's 4 years old, but he spells the word float. But in order to spell the word float, sometimes he'll say, what does it start with? And I'll say, you think, and you use your word, you know, use your mind. And don't be so quick to give the kids the answers, because when you do that, you teach them not to think. So I always encourage him to think, focus and think. And so I'll say the word. But then at that point, he hears the word float. So he goes, F, and then like you say, you just sound out the next L, and then so the O, the A, the T. So he'll spell it out perfectly fine. He's 4 years old, but he's really good. And then just say like a simple word such as bad. He'll spell bad with B-A-D. But then I'll say, okay, sound it out. But he goes B-A-D, B-A-D. And we sometimes we'll stick with a word for a couple of days, just sounding it out. B-A-D, B-A-D. And then I'll say sing it. So then he goes bad, bad, bad. And then the next thing is like, okay, now what do you hear coming out of that bad when you're singing it? And then he goes bad. So it's just that simple with the child to, you know, make learning fun, to teach them how to grasp, you know, simple things such as how to sound out words, how to add and subtract. Adding could be simple things such as you're giving them cookies and you say, okay, I'm giving you 2 cookies over here and 1 over here. And then you'll say, how many is on this side? So they'll go 1, 2. And then you say, okay, plus 1, 2. So 2 plus, and how many do you have over here? And then when the child says 1, then you say, okay, let's count them all together. 1, 2, 3. So they just did an addition problem, and it's a simple addition problem, but it's so easy to grasp. And I like to play games with my grandson on a regular basis, doing stuff such as that. I mean, if it's candy, if it's cookies, if it's his toys. And another thing I like to do is I'm very descriptive with a lot of things when I talk to the younger group, like the younger age, like infants. Instead of just saying the ball, I'll say the red ball, or oh, I love your beautiful, your pretty pink dress that you're wearing, things such as that. And it's just you'll be amazed at how they grasp and how they pick up. But like I said, Learning can be fun and teaching can be just as fun as long as you keep it on a positive tip, keep it fun, make it happy, help the child to be happy. And if you see them fidgeting and getting active or moving around, stop the lesson, go back, let the child do some activities such as exercise, and maybe like say, let's do some push-ups, let's do some sit-ups, let's run around run around the room right quick, or let's run outside and we're gonna burn down some energy and we're coming back. Then when they get back in, you wanna do some jumping jacks, and then you wanna do a song, maybe and clap, 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 things such as that. And then once you say, okay, now let's get back to our work. The kids are not tired, but they're excited and they're ready to try something else, because guess what? You're having fun with the teacher or your mom or your dad or whomever it is that's teaching the lesson. And then it's not just so much as work, because nobody really likes to do work. And so, especially under pressure. So it's like doing the best you can to make it a happy event or a happy lesson, and then doing your best to just be creative. And then I'm always trying to do things in a creative way, because what I try to do is I try to make it to where it's not like a lesson, but more so it's just doing it out of fun, doing it out of love, and just saying, constantly encouraging the child and saying how smart they are or how excellent they're doing and how well their work is coming along. But if I see them goofing off, I do identify that as well. And so I hope I helped someone out today. And like I said, try some of the lessons out. And feel free to come back and make comments or let us know how you did or how the activity went with you. And maybe I could help you come up with other ideas on how to work with your little ones. Okay? Thank you.